All right, what's up, everybody? Look, it's 4 a.m. and I got a notification on my phone that Myro's price just hit 25 cents, which is absolutely insane. So I want to give you a quick update of what's going on before I head back to sleep. So let's look at it. So what we can see here is that Myro's price literally did exactly what we were talking about in yesterday's video. In yesterday's video, I told you all to pay very close attention to the 786 to 618 Fibonacci zone between 15.9 and 14.5. I said if Myro's price is capable of clearing the zone, be on the lookout for Myro to move to between 17 to about 20 cents. And what you can see here is that not only did his price hit the 17 to 20 cents mark, it actually surpassed it all the way up to at 1.25 cents. Now, many of you do know that we called Myro over on HG Access at 0.024, so that does give us our first 10x of the year, which I'm pretty damn happy about. You can see here, of course, from here to all the way to the top, that does give us officially our first 1,000% gain, and who knows what's coming next. I mean, we obviously did call dog with coin also in that same post. There you can see at 0.16, and that bad boy's already at 44. So, you know, another one, considering the fact that this thing here is, you know, we're looking at a nice little 180% gain. Who knows if this is going to be one that follows up for another couple, you know, couple 100% gains. But if you do want to use HG Access, go to the link down below. We already have our first 1,000%er of the year. Now, the question then becomes what happens next for Myro? How am I feeling? And, you know, what can I expect from here? Well, personally speaking, what I would go ahead and say is that it's another one of those times where you should exercise caution, but this is extremely bullish. Okay, now let me talk about how that makes sense. Now, the reason that this is extremely bullish is because what Myro just did is extremely hard to do. It's extremely hard to do. You guys know that I've been bragging on Myro because it's already made a difficult move. It established this ascending channel way back in its earlier days, lost that channel, back tested that channel, came back down to this level, put in the inverted head and shoulders, use that inverted head and shoulders to break out, back test, use that back test to get back up towards the channel, get rejected off of it, clear it, boom, break back into it to reach the top side. Doing something like this from a technical perspective, as someone who's looked at charts for thousands and thousands of hours, is extremely hard to do. People don't understand how hard this is to do. And for Myro to perform so maturely, I've been bragging on it and saying that this is absolutely insane. But the fact that it said, you know what, how about I one up myself? How about I do something even more difficult? How about I go back from the top side of this channel, find this resistance and back test the bottom side, establish support here, establish support on top of this prior point of resistance, of course, this prior all-time high, and use this support establishment to now reach the top side of the channel again. But not only reach the top side of the channel again, I'm momentarily going to break above the top side of the channel, which is way harder to do than to get to the top side of the channel. And while I'm getting to the top side of the channel, while I'm breaking the top side of the channel, I'm going to get a 1.618 Fibonacci extension and touch it on the nose. Look at this. This is no coincidence. We said yesterday, look for the break of the 618 to 786 box. Boom, Fibonacci zone. Clears the Fibonacci zone, goes up to one place before getting resistance. Where's that one place? Directly on the 1.618, 0.25 level. It's not coincidental, and you can tell it's not coincidental, and that means that Myro is moving much more maturely than it should for a crypto this size. What does that mean? Maybe it means that it's going to eventually work itself up to being a crypto that should be this size. Maybe it works itself up to being that billion-dollar crypto. Who knows? That's the implications that I get, but I'm also bullish on Myro because I'm up 10x, and so there's something to consider. And so the question now becomes, well, now what? Okay, I think long term this opens up more doors of opportunity. I think this tells me, yes, Myro easily could continue to work itself up to being one of those major meme coins. It very easily could do that, especially off of what we're seeing. These types of bullish moves in a time where the rest of the market's not doing much is something that should not be ignored. But what we have to understand is that in the short term, it just did something extremely difficult. And when you do things like this that are extremely difficult, the likelihood is some type of pullback could be on the way. Now, best case scenario is that we, of course, keep this breakout going and we see the further extension up towards 30 cents. That would be the best case scenario. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying that's the less likely scenario, at least in the shortest time frames. In the shortest time frames, what will usually happen here is that once we get a rejection off of a level like the 1.618 level, although we may trend up a little bit further, we will eventually slow down and either go a bit sideways on top of that channel or maybe even fall back within that channel to back test something like 20 cents. That's like a Solana or a Matic or a BNB or Bitcoin Ethereum. That's what would happen, right? But So for a mature crypto, which this one is performing maturely, this is what we would expect. But obviously, I'm not going to say for sure that's what's going to happen. It's just what I think is the most likely scenario here. So for me, it means I'm going to continue to take some profits off this thing. I've already taken, dude, I got my initial out of this thing. Not only did I get my initial out of this thing, I have my initial times 3 already. So say hypothetically, I put $10,000 in. I've already pulled $30,000 out of this thing, and I'm still running with a huge bag, right? And so for me, it's one of those things where, okay, now that we're extended, we're to the top side, we're to the 1.618 zone. You look at your daily chart prime or your 4-hour chart prime oscillator. We got the red reversal triangle. We got the overbought boxes printing. You look at your daily chart prime oscillator and it's failing to put in the higher high. We're still getting a lower high, which is a drive of bearish divergence with a daily overbought box. All of these things tell me that we're very likely in the shorter term to start to slow down a little bit. And so for me personally, I'm going to continue to take some small profits off the table because we earned them. Don't let the Myro moon boys, because listen, I'm a Myro moon boy my damn self. I want to see this thing hit 2 billion, 3 billion. I want that to happen. But what you need to understand is that I've been in this market long enough through enough cycles to realize if you don't take profits because you're married to a bag, because the Twitter guys told you selling is a bad thing, you will never ever win in this space. Never in your life will you win in this space, okay? So when you work hard, when you do something like this, like we've done from HG Access, and you go up 10x on something over the course of what? We posted this, let's see. We posted this on January 2nd. So in the span of 16 days, we make a 1,000% gain. Take some profits. Enjoy your profits. Buy yourself a dinner. Do whatever you want to. Roll that into a macro investment. Do something along those lines. But don't just sit on it because you're scared to sell because you don't want to be criticized by the Twitter guys, right? And so with that in mind, taking a little bit of profits here I think would be a good idea. But overall, I'm not selling most of my position because, again, I still think it could go up further. And realistically, I've already sold a good bit. And so with that in mind, I will continue to update you guys as this does play out. This was extremely bullish. It opens up doors of opportunity that could be much higher than this. A $1 Myro starts to get into the question, get into the picture here, but I'll make a video on that pretty soon. So stay tuned for more updates. I'm going to head back to sleep because it's 4 a.m., but I had to let you know about this. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you want access to plays like this before other people find them, go to HG Access, where very clearly the proof is in the pudding. And I will see you all next time, everybody. Peace out.